No. This is Richard's private. This is Richard's video log. And, now, now is the winter of a discontent made glorious summer by the son of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon a house, and the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Our brows bound with Victoria's wreaths, our bruised arms hang up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war as smooth as wrinkled front. And now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fight the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I that am rudely stamped and want love's majesty to strut before a wanton ambling nymph, I that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce, half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I hold by them. Now I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to see my shadow in the sun and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these fair well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels, and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day Clarence should closely be moved up about a prophecy which says that G of Edward says the murderer shall be. Yes. All right. Dark thoughts down to my soul. Here Clarence comes. He cannot live, I hope, and must not die till George be packed with postals up to heaven. I'll in to urge his hatred more to Clarence, while I as well steal the weighty arguments, and if I fail not, in my deep intent, Clarence had not another day to live, which done, God taking Edward to his mercy and leave the world for me to bustle in. But then, I'll marry Warwick's youngest daughter. Although I killed her husband and her father, the readiest way to make the wench amends is to become her husband and her father, the which will I, not all so much for love, as for another secret close intent, by marrying her which I must reach out to. But yet, I run before my horse to market. Clarence still breathes, Edward still lives and reigns. When they're gone, then must I count my gains. Was ever woman in this humor wooed? Was ever woman in this humor won? I will have her, but I will not keep her long. Would I, that killed her husband and his father, to take her in her heart's extremest hate, with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding witness of her hatred by, having God her conscience and all these bars against me, and not deny to back my suit withal, but the plain devil and dissembling looks, and yet to win her, all the world to nothing. Ha! Has she forgot already that brave prince, Edward, her lord, whom I some 3 months since stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? A sweeter and lovelier gentleman, framed in the prodigality of nature, young, well and wise, and no doubt right royal, the spacious world cannot again afford. And will she yet abase her eyes on me, that cropped the golden prime of this sweet prince, and made a widow to a woeful bed? Me, whose all not equals Edward's moiety, me that hold and a misshapen thus. I took them to a beggar led in here. I do mistake my person all this while. Upon my life, she finds, although I cannot, myself, to be a marvelous, proper man. I'll be a charges for a looking glass, and entertain a score or two of tailors to study fashions to adorn my body. Since I am crept in favor with myself, I will maintain it with some little cost. But first I'll turn young fellow in his grave, and then return lamenting to my love. Shine out, fair sun, till I have poured a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass. I do the wrong, and first begin to brawl. The secret mischief that I set abroach, I lay unto the grievous charge of others. Clarence, whom I indeed have cast in darkness, I do beweep to many simple gods, namely Stanley, Hastings, Buckingham. Now then it is the Queen and the allies that stir the King against the Duke, my brother. Now they believe me, and withal wed me to be revenged, on rivers worn, grey. But then I sigh, and with a piece of scripture tell them that God bids us to do good for evil. And thus I clothe my naked villainy with art old and stolen forth of Holy Writ, and seem a saint when most I play the devil. Soft. Here come my executioners. willing to take some private order, draw the brats of Clarence out of sight, and have noticed that no man or person has any time recourse unto the princess. I answer you. Your love deserves my thanks, but my desert unmurderable shuns I request. First of all, if all obstacles were cut away, and that my path were even to the crown, as the ripe revenue and due of birth, yet so much is my poverty of spirit, so many and so mighty facts, that I would rather hide me from my greatness, being a bark to brook no mighty sea, than in my greatness covered to be hid, and in the vapor of my glory smoothed. But God be thanked, there's no need of me, and much I need to help you where there need. The royal tree hath left his royal fruit, which mellowed by the stealing hours of time will well become the seat of majesty, and make no doubt as happy by his reign. On him I, that you would lay on me, the right and fortune of his happy stars, which doth God defend that I should wring from him. Will he enforce me to a world of cares? Call him again. I'm not made of stone, but penetrable to a kind entrance, albeit against my conscience and my soul. Cousin of Buckingham and sage grave man, since you will buckle fortune in my back to bear her burden, well, I will or no, I must have patience to enter the load. But if black scandal or full-faced reproach attend the sequel of your imposition, your mere enforcement shall acquittance me from all the impure bloods and stains thereof, for God doth know, and you may partly see how far I am from the desire of this. In saying so, you shall but say the truth. Even when you please, for you will have it so. The son of Clarence have I pent up close, his daughter have I meanly matched in marriage. The sons of Edward sleep in Abram's bosom, and then my wife had bid the world good night. For now I know the Breton Richmond aims at young Elizabeth, my brother's daughter, and by that nod looks proudly to the crown. To her I go, a jolly, thriving wooer. I did but dream. Oh, coward conscience, how dost thou afflict me? turn blue. It is now dead midnight. Cold, fearful drops down on my trembling flesh. What? Do I fear myself? There's none else by. Richard loves Richard. This is I am I. Is there murder right here? No. Yes, I am. Gonna fly. What, from myself? Great reason. Why? Lest I revenge myself upon myself. How like I love myself. For any good that I myself have done unto myself. Oh no. Alas, I rather hate myself for hateful deeds committed by myself. I am a villain. Yet I lie, I am not. Fool of thyself, speak well. Fool. Do not flatter. My conscience has 1,000 several tongues, and every tongue brings in a several tale, and every tale condemns me for a villain. Perjury, perjury in the highest degree. Murder, stern murder in the direst degree. All several sins, all used in each degree. Thronged to the bar, crying all guilty. Guilty. I shall despair. As no creature loves me, and if I die, no soul will pity me. Nay, wherefore should they? Since I myself find in myself no pity to myself. Methought the souls of all that I had murdered came to my tent, and every one did threat tomorrow's vengeance on the head of Richard. The sounds was there!